very weak voice asked for a drink of water. And so then we were sitting there going over everything, trying to remember, and did Doug see this, and did she feel that? And we were all putting the whole experience together when Connie then sat both up and said, they're coming back. So they did. The whole room filled again.
Listen up, folks. Time could be running out to lock in a historic yield at Public.com. As of September 23rd, 2024, you can lock in a 6% or higher yield with a bond account. But here's the thing. The Federal Reserve just announced a big rate cut, and the plan is for more rate cuts this year and in 2025 as well. That's good news if you're looking to buy a home, but it might not be so good for the interest you earn on your cash. So, if you want to lock in a 6% or higher yield with a diversified portfolio of high-yield investment-grade bonds, you might want to act fast. The good news, it only takes a couple of minutes to sign up at Public.com. And once you lock in your yield, you can earn regular interest payments even as rates decline. Lock in a 6% or higher yield with a bond account at Public.com. But hurry, your yield is not locked in until you invest. Brought to you by Public Investing Network, SIPC. Yield to worst is not guaranteed. Not an investment recommendation. All investing involves risk. Visit Public.com/disclosures for more info.
Was that they wanted to put me through an exercise to learn how to open my channel when it was time to receive communication. So they said, now, the tap on the head and the ringing in the ears, and then concentrate on Doug, and you and Doug hold each other's hands, and there will be 4 rapid transmissions. So we did that. I had the touch on the head, and I had the ringing in the ears, and then I still had no idea how to open my channel. But I concentrated on Doug's energy, and pretty soon it was, I wasn't feeling anything. But anyway, I said, I don't think I got this lesson. So Doug said, well, I did, and he had received the 4 rapid transmissions. I think it was a rapid heartbeat, and the hair on the back of his neck stood up straight, and there were 2 others that I can't remember now. And I had felt nothing, so he said, don't worry about it, it'll come in time. So that was it. Then they withdrew, and they stayed away at that point. At that point, the sun was coming up. It was now 6:15 in the morning. So we had been doing this since 3:10 a.m. consistently, 3 solid hours. It was an incredible experience. I'll never, ever forget it. And since that time, they've come a few times that I've been aware of since then. About 3 weeks later, after I got back to Phoenix, I was sitting on a patient. One day, and I could see her standing by the fireplace. And when she saw that I was awake, she said, "Hi, Ann," and then she disappeared. So that's the story of the Sisterhood of Light.
Very interesting. Very interesting. Thank you for sharing that. That's a great story. I know you will never forget that.
No, never.
I know that's right. All right, so
One of the other things that I said to them, I asked them if they would stay with me, and their answer was, "We have always been with you." So that was very, very soothing. Very, I came away from Laramie, Wyoming, just really uplifted. Just felt like I was never going to be alone. I was always going to have them around. They'll always be taking care of me. So it's a nice feeling. But these beings are so loving. They're just so loving. You can't believe it.
what is their purpose, or what do you think their purpose is for being here?
They've always been here. We'll start with that. This planet has been as much theirs as it has been ours, and we're just now uncovering that and learning that down in the Antarctica. All the things that they have discovered under 3 miles under the ice, 2 miles under the ice in Antarctica. It's an ancient alien civilization. Some of them are still in suspended animation. It's an incredible discovery down there. So, number one, they've always been here. Many Martians came in ships when their planet was dying. The Anunnaki comes around every 3,654 years on their planet, which is called Nibiru, and they have been on the Earth for eons of time. They were been mining gold from the Earth, and they actually changed the DNA around and created us, Homo sapiens, and because they wanted a slave race. Mining for the gold was too hard for them to do, so they wanted the slaves around to do that. But there are thousands of spacecraft around our planet right now because there's a lot going on. Number one, we are ascending, and the planet is ascending also. We're growing spiritually. We're making a choice in our spiritual orientation. Either we're going to be service to self or we're going to be service to others. A lot of souls don't know that they're making that choice right now. Our bodies are changing from a carbon base to a crystalline base, and more chakras are being added to our body. We're literally ascending, and we're taking our bodies with us. The planet is going into the fourth dimension. We're going into the fourth and the fifth dimensions. So if you've been feeling a little strange lately, if you've been feeling dizzy or nauseated or can't sleep, there's so much change in the energies now that we're trying to get used to. This is the reason for that. But all the spacecraft around the planet is, number one, they're watching to see what's going to happen, because as we're going through this ascension process, we're also going to have to go through the passage of Nibiru, which is going to cause a pole shift on the Earth, which is going to be pretty darn devastating for the planet. That was what we saw on the monitor in the spacecraft we were on. This is in our very near future. We're seeing Planet X now and all of its moons that it's bringing. When it passes us, it's going to be the size of a full moon, and it's going to be 14 million miles away. It's not going to hit us, but all of this trash that's coming in the tail that it's bringing with it, a lot of that is going to hit us, because the tail stretches out for another 5 million miles. So we need to prepare for this, and I want everybody to know about it.
Can you actually see Planet X right now?
Oh yeah, you can definitely see it. They've if you go to the website of earthchanges.com, and read in there, and you can pull up all of the pictures. They've got photos. They've just got a treasure trove. Or you can look up Nibiru on the YouTube, Planet X Nibiru on the YouTube channel, and you'll get all kinds of photographs of it.
So that means NASA's had to know about Planet X for a very, very long time.
Oh yeah, a long time. They've known about it since they first saw it in the infrared telescope in 1983. They knew about it before that, as it was causing the outer planets to be perturbed. So they knew there was something further out there that was causing this to the planet. But then they actually saw it in 1983, and then in 2003 came into the inner solar system. And at that time, it was, for a long time, it was visible mostly at sunrise and sunset. But when it comes to the point that it's going to pass us, it's going to be as big as a full moon with this huge tail coming behind it. It's the electromagnetic pole that's going to devastate the Earth. And right now, we're experiencing a lot of electromagnetic pulse. This is because that charged tail of Nibiru is getting closer, and it's interacting with the electric screech in the rock layers. Our planet is just being pushed and pulled and stretched and compressed, and all of this causes these rock layers to slide apart, and all of it has this screech. And that's what happened. That's what happened to several of these airliners that have crashed. It's been electromagnetic pulse. It just fries all the electrical stuff in the airplane. So it's going to affect planes, trains, cars, vans, buses, cell phones, computers, all electronics and all appliances. And it's happening now. I personally have had the air conditioning heating element go out. I've had the smoke detectors go out. I've had the automatic garage door go out. And there are a lot of people that are experiencing this, and it's just going to increase as time goes on. But I would point people to ZetaTalk, ZetaTalk.com. That's Nancy Lee's website. She's receiving direct communication from the Zetas. In fact, as part of her training, they implanted a piece of the Zeta DNA in her brain, so she's on the same wavelength with them. But she's had to be on that wavelength because she's brought forth all of the information that they're giving us. They've told us exactly what's going to transpire and in what order it's going to transpire. But what's happened is the Council of Worlds, and this is the council that's in charge of this whole sector of this galaxy. The Council of Worlds is in charge, and they can allow the ETs to interfere at this point and do things to the planet that will help us. And back in 2012, we all thought this was going to happen several years ago, but they have put the brakes on. They have slowed it way down to give us more time to make our spiritual decision and to figure out, are we going to be the good guy that goes into the burning building and helps somebody get out, or are we going to be service to self and just turn our back and walk away? There are going to be a lot of scenarios from here on that we can prove that we're spiritual beings and that we're choosing service to others rather than service to self.
I see.
But if you choose service to self, that's okay too, and then you'll go to another planet after this life. But when this happens, there's going to be a tremendous amount of death within 2 years. Within 2 years after the pole shift, 90% of the population will be gone. The greater percentage will go during the shift as the planet comes much closer, and then it causes the planet to fall over on its side. Now you can imagine, if you can imagine the Thanksgiving Day dining room table with all of the crystal and the china and the food, etc., and then you just pull that tablecloth, and what happens? All that stuff tumbles and falls and gets all mixed up. Exactly what's going to happen here. Now, there's things that you can do if you want to survive. And the Vedas are saying the best thing is a shallow ditch with sort of a metal or aluminum top over it, and then open at both ends. That'll give you the greatest amount of protection. Now, the powers that be have taken all of our money, and they have built these places underground, these very expensive hideouts underground, where they have stocked them with everything. And they're going to have a lot of ammunition. They're going to have guards at the door so that none of us peons can get into their safe places. Anyway, they want to keep us in the dark about all of this until the very last minute, for as long as they possibly can. That's NASA, that's the USGS, it's the government, it's all of it. So our mission is to try and get this information out to as many people as possible, because you do need to get at least 100 miles inland from any large body of water. You need to go to a higher elevation. You need to plan for a camper's life for at least 2 years. Because we're going to start from scratch. There's not going to be any electronics when this thing happens.
I want to say that it sounds like no one has an opportunity to survive this. Right, and if you did, who would want to live through that? Sounds horrible.
Well, that's it. Why would you want to be one that was going to pick up everything and start all over again?
It sounds horrible. Now, Ann, I want to also ask you, I want to get through this because this is a great question here. What was the situation surrounding Dr. Hynek's cancer and his death?
Well, at one point, he was invited to go over to Edwards Air Force Base. And it was very hush-hush. And he went and came back and never divulged what it was about, never told us anything about the trip. But it was shortly after that he was diagnosed with cancer of the prostate. And we all had a suspicion that maybe it had been induced, that maybe this wasn't a normal disease. Anyway, everybody was devastated, and we all urged him to fight it as much as he could. And he went to Barnes in St. Louis, and then later he went to San Francisco for treatment. But slowly it took its toll on him, and less was being done at the center. So that eventually ended, closed. On my last visit to him, he looked me in the eye and he said, "I want you to know that I've had my own UFO experiences." So that was his parting gift to me. He knew, and he said this frequently, he knew all his life he would go out when Halley's Comet came back around. He was born in the year of Halley's Comet, 1910, and 76 years later, in 1986, he went out when Halley's Comet came back around, and he knew that all his life.
It sounds like you had an amazing experience with him. And Ann, I do appreciate your time. I hate to end this, but that's all the time we have for tonight. I want to give you an opportunity to tell my listeners where they can find out more information about you.
Well, I have a website. It's anneller.com or dragoninthesky.com. And it's the book tree in San Diego that is printing the book now. So that's a good place to get it. And I would be happy to answer any questions. You can contact me through the website, and if you have a particular question, as time permits, I'll certainly answer.
And I want to thank you very much for joining me on Mysterious Radio.
Thank you.
All right, that's going to do it for tonight's edition. I want to thank author Ann Eller again for joining me tonight. I want to thank my producer tonight, Kim, and the Mysterious Radio team. I'm your host, K-Town, and I will see you next time on Mysterious Radio.
Like the show? Get more Mysterious Radio on our website. And don't forget to visit our Twitter and Facebook page. Heads up, folks. Interest rates are falling. But as of September 23rd, 2024, you can still lock in a 6%. Unless you lock in
'Cause in all choice, including the loss of principal, please consider your objectives, risks, and tolerance.
beakers, microscopes, Bunsen burners, and hundreds upon hundreds of books sat an investigator who would go on to crack at least 2,000 cases in his 40-year career. Known as American Sherlock Holmes, Edward Oscar Heinrich was one of America's greatest and first forensic scientists with an uncanny knack for finding clues, establishing evidence, and deducing answers with a skill that seemed almost supernatural. My special guest is Kate Winkler Dawson, and her book is called American Sherlock: Murder, Forensics, and the Birth of American CSI. The book is based on years of research and thousands of never-before published primary source materials. American Sherlock is available right now on Amazon in Kindle, audiobook, hardcover, and also paperback. And now, here's my special guest, Kate Winkler Dawson.
I am a native Texan. I'm from Austin, and I teach at the University of Texas. I teach journalism, and this is American Sherlock is my second book, and my first book was called Death in the Air, and it was another nonfiction book, historical true crime. And in that book, there was, it was a story about the deadly fog of 1952 that killed upwards of 12,000 people in London, and a series of people who were caught in it. A little girl, a police officer, and a serial killer. So this was a story, Death in the Air was a story that was told, it was one event that was told through the lens of multiple people. And for the second book, I knew I wanted to do kind of the opposite. I wanted to tell a bunch of different stories through the lens of one person, and I knew I wanted to be a forensic scientist. And so when I ran across a story about Oscar Heinrich, and the author of the story called him America's Sherlock Holmes, and I had never heard of him. Not that I know all forensic scientists in history, but I'm familiar enough. I'm into forensics, and so I knew that he didn't even have a Wikipedia page. And so when I discovered that he had a really huge archive at the University of California at Berkeley, I just felt like I really wanted to do a book about him, and I wanted to pick these cases that would show the progression that he went through, not only in his personal life, but also in the tools of the trade, the tools that he developed in forensics, which some were really good and some were really bad.
Now that's interesting there. Okay, so first of all, going back to what you said about your first book about the fog, is that a true story?
Oh yeah, I only write narrative nonfiction,
Okay.
so yeah.
That's
yeah.
awesome. Wow, I'm interested in that too. Maybe you can come back and talk about that particular that first book. So how long ago did you release that one?
That came out in October of 2017, and my podcast is along the same line. So I really am into historical true crime, where I like to tell stories about true crime rooted in history, in an important time in history, and true crime that has made history in some way, and then why we feel it's important today. What is the relevance? So with Death in the Air, it's about air pollution, it was about wrongful conviction. And you're covering these, we've got the Great Depression, we've got Roaring Twenties, we've got Prohibition. So those are the stories I gravitate towards in my books and my podcasts.
Oh, that's pretty awesome. I'm gonna have to check that out too. And I'll link to it for you. Okay.
Great.
All right. So he's okay. So he was the first. Okay. You said he didn't have a Wikipedia page. So how
No.
did you go about? That's amazing. Did you create one for him?
I did not. And I actually haven't checked lately to see if somebody did
Maybe
create it. But
somebody will do it for him.
I never
Yeah.
did. I don't even have one for myself. So.
Okay.
I need
Well, this
one
guy
before
needs.
I'm
He
driving.
needs to have one. You know.
He does.
That's
He
awesome.
does. And
Go ahead.
now, what I was going to say was, that was one of my arguments when, I looked at this archive at UC Berkeley and it wasn't opened. It was huge. And I had to find out that the collection was closed and was never cataloged by the archivist because it was just too big and they couldn't justify it. And so I had to say, listen, here's the proof that this man made a huge difference in forensics. He doesn't even have a Wikipedia page. This is your chance to take a collection that was generously given to you and allow someone who's a real author with a real publishing house to publish a book that would give him the recognition that he finally deserves.
Yeah, that's amazing. So who had the collection? I'm sorry, maybe I missed it. Who had it?
No, it's okay. It's University of California at Berkeley.
They had it.
So
How did you
UC
find out they
Berkeley.
had it? How did you go about doing that?
Well, one of the little tricks that I use that some of your listeners have probably heard of before, there's a couple of good sites. One is called worldcat.org. So worldcat.
Okay. CAT?
CAT, yeah, and .org. And when you go there, you plug in my name, Kate Winkler Dawson, and all my books will line up there. And if I have donated my papers to someone, it'll show up and it'll show you where that was donated. So, for instance, if I want to do a book on Alexander books that people have written about him, but also all of the places where his papers are kept, which I'm presuming is probably University of Virginia or maybe William and Mary, I'm not sure. But you'll get a list of the papers and the description. And so, when I plugged Oscar Heinrich, it was actually Edward Oscar Heinrich. When I plugged him into WorldCat, I could see that he had a big collection at UC Berkeley. And then I had to reach out to them, and there was this little form I had to fill out to say officially we need to catalog this guy's collection. Most collections of famous people are open. It means an archivist has sat down and cataloged, assigned numbers and boxes and folders, and that had not been done because it was such a large collection. It was more than 100 boxes.
Understanding why. Is that typical? I mean, it's the first time
Yes,
I've ever read
it's
one.
very. I mean, it's a library, and they don't have all the money in the world, and I think there were 3 archivists there maybe, and so to the credit of the archivist Laura Michaels, she said, "I will do it. It's going to take me 1.5 to 2 years, and I could do 1 day a week, but I'll get it done." And luckily, she managed to move a little faster than that. But she was amazing, and UC Berkeley is amazing. So Laura said, you're never going to be able to get this book written at the rate I'm going. So why don't you come to the big warehouse where all of our uncatalogued material is kept, and you can just grab boxes, and I'll stand next to you and work on the table next to you and catalog everything, and you just grab boxes, which is a pretty it's a pretty laborious process to get a piece of evidence from a library when it's already been cataloged. So it was a unique experience, and it really did bend over backwards for me. And I just think a lot of archives are really understaffed, and they have to be picky. They have to pick and choose. And this was a large collection. Once you start cataloging, so I was understanding of that.
Well, that was awesome that she was able to help you. And that way, you were able to dig through it and get the material that you needed from the book and get it out in a timely fashion. So it's pretty incredible there. So, so let me ask you this. So, did his family or someone related to him actually donated to the university?
Yes. So when he died in 1953, all of his case files, everything was kept in his basement, which is where his laboratory was. He lived in Berkeley, in the hills of Berkeley Hills, and everything was kept there. And I think that I always kind of joke that his son, Mortimer, his youngest son, did what I don't know going through the boxes, no, it was fairly well organized. Oscar clearly had OCD, and so he kept a lot of stuff, and he kind of he organized it in his own way, but there was so much stuff, and it just was willy-nilly. Like, for instance, they found a couple of guns that were loaded, and they had to call the UC Berkeley Police Department to come and remove the firing pins. I mean, they just, like, these loaded guns that have been there for more than 50 years, just laying in the archives. So, you know, there's all kinds of stuff there.
Did you say Mortimer? That was.
Mortimer, yeah, his name was Mort.
Isn't that like you know, like something on television, like, oh no, that's coming up. What's his name? Mortimer. I don't know. I'll figure it out.
It's a very old school name.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So this is awesome. Okay. So let's talk about him and how Edward Oscar Heinrich, how did he get into forensics?
Well, when he was young, he lost his father, which, you know, in the book, it's a pretty tragic story. He lost his father unexpectedly when he was 16, and he had two older sisters and a mother. And even though he was the youngest child, he was expected to quit school, and you know, he was in high school at the time in Tacoma, Washington. And he was expected to quit school and work to support the family. So he left school, and he got a job as a cleanup boy at a pharmacy, a local pharmacy. And it was there that he really started to learn about forensics. He decided he wanted to make a lot more money, so as soon as he turned 18 and it was legal for him to sit for the tests to become a pharmacist, he did. He couldn't afford the classes, but he was so smart that he bought the books, studied all night, and he passed. So he became a pharmacist, and that's where he learned about, he joked about it, you know, handwriting comparison, because he had all of this terrible handwriting from the doctors who were writing the prescriptions for the pharmacist to decipher. So he did that. He learned about toxicology. He learned about medicinal, you know, medicine and medicinal whiskey. He learned a lot about human behavior from a pharmacy. So there was a lot at sort of the beginning of it. And you know, I think about if his father had not died, I don't know if he would have gone into forensics. I think he would have gone into chemistry because he really loved chemistry, and he became a chemical engineer before he became a forensic scientist. But had he not been forced to go to this pharmacy and get a job, I don't know if he would have been exposed enough to forensic tools for him to really kind of get looped in and say, wow, this really is a viable career for me. So.
When you've got a lot on your plate, your financial future is the last thing on your mind. You've got groceries to buy, gas tanks to fill, and your kid just got invited to another birthday party. How are you supposed to find the time or the money to invest? Let Acorns help. Acorns makes it easy to invest for you, your kids, and your retirement all in one app. Answer a few questions, and Acorns will recommend an expert-built portfolio that matches your money goals. Then, Acorns automatically invests your money for you every day, week, or month, whatever works for you. You can even start investing with your own spare change. Acorns is an easy way to invest for your future, while you take care of today. Ready to give your money a chance to grow? Download Acorns now and sign up in just 5 minutes. Investing involves risk, including the loss of principal. Please consider your objectives, risk tolerance, and Acorns fees before investing. Acorns Advisors, LLC is an SEC-registered investment advisor. Brokerage services are provided to clients of Acorns by Acorns Securities, LLC. Member FINRA SIPC. For more information, visit acorns.com.
This podcast is sponsored by IQ Bar. What if I told you this holiday season you can stuff your face with tasty, craveable snacks and wait for it to feel great? Hi, I'm Will, founder of IQ Bar, the only plant protein bar formulated for your body and your brain. IQ Bar's brain-boosting nutrients are designed to refuel, nourish, and satisfy hunger with zero sugar fat. Featuring delicious holiday flavors like gingerbread, IQ Bars are the less than 200-calorie snack that satisfies your sweet tooth and your protein goals. Right now, take 25% off all IQ Bar products and get free shipping. Also, check out our other limited edition holiday flavors like peppermint mocha jitter-free IQ Joe coffee. Clean ingredients, fantastic taste, and zero regrets. It's the season to feel smarter, hydrate harder, and caffeinate larger with IQ Bar.
Go to eatiqbar.com and enter code AUDIO to get 25% off all IQ Bar products plus free shipping. Again, go to eatiqbar.com and enter code AUDIO.
When you've got a lot on your plate, your financial future is the last thing on your mind. You've got groceries to buy, gas tanks to fill, and your kid just got invited to another birthday party. How are you you supposed to find the time or the money to invest? Let Acorns help. Acorns makes it easy to invest for you, your kids, and your retirement all in one app. Answer a few questions, and Acorns will recommend an expert-built portfolio that matches your money goals. Then, Acorns automatically invests your money for you every day, week, or month, whatever works for you. You can even start investing with your own spare change. Acorns is an easy way to invest for your future, while you take care of today. Ready to give your money a chance to grow? Download Acorns now and sign up in just 5 minutes. Investing involves risk, including the loss of principal. Please consider your objectives, risk tolerance, and Acorns fees before investing. Acorns Advisors LLC is an SEC-registered investment advisor. Brokerage services are provided to clients of Acorns by Acorn Securities LLC. Member FINRA SIPC. For more information, visit acorns.com.
Not quite.
What's up?
Sell my car on Carvana. It's just not quite the right time.
Crazy coincidence. I just sold my car to Carvana.
What? I told you about it 2 days ago.
When you know, you know. You know, I've even dropping it off at one of those sweet car vending machines and getting paid today.
That's a good deal.
A great deal. Come on. What's your heart saying?
You're right. When you know,
You know.
sold.
Whether you're looking to sell your car right now or just whenever feels right, go to Carvana.com and sell your car the convenient way. Terms and conditions apply.
Okay, so he's a pharmacist, and he started to learn about different things. So that's interesting there. But how did he actually get into like in a position where he was using those tools in crimes?
Really, it was once he graduated from college at UC Berkeley, he became a sanitary engineer. So sanitary engineers, he was somebody who works for the government and they in the state, and they sort of help design where roads go. They have to know a lot about asphalt and material and dams, and so he worked for the state of Washington, and there were a lot of different things that were popping up. He also worked in the industry, and he started working a little bit more with the city of Tacoma on complicated crimes where it involved chemicals or involved car accidents, things that these tools that he had acquired, these professional tools, could be useful somehow. And so he took these tools and he used them to help local police solve crimes. And I think he just kind of got the bug after that.
So talk about some of the tools he was using, and are these things that he purely came up with himself?
Well, the big thing that's interesting to me about Oscar Heinrich is there wasn't this massive invention. He's not the guy who invented ballistics. He's not the guy who invented bloodstain pattern analysis. Thank goodness, it's just science. He was the guy who came up with one really strong technique in ballistics, how to photograph two bullets side by side through one microscope. And that is a technique that's still used today. That's not what he's most known for. He's most known for a lot of firsts. So the first one to use forensic geology in the United States, and the first one to use sand in the wall, where he was able to, in one case, the very first case in the book, the kidnapping of Father Meslin, he's able to connect for the first time for police a suspect with a murder scene using a grain of sand. And then he used the same test that he had used as a professional engineer, this metrological test. Like he was able to use a certain type of microscope to break down the content of a grain of sand. So if he knew it was 50% whatever and 25% whatever, he could take that sand and find very like-minded sand that was at a different location, because not all sand was the same. And then he was able to use that same technique, forensic geology, to locate the rest of a body when he was given one body part. And I'm not going to spoil it. It's great, but it's in the middle of the book. And it was pretty remarkable. So he used a lot of, he was the first to use the succession of bugs for how they arrive to a body. Flies were first, then beetles. He was the first one to use that in the United States. So there were a lot. He used the UV light for the first time to detect blood. There's a lot of firsts.
So I want to go back, but I want to talk about some of those other things you just mentioned. But you mentioned forensic geology. Is that what you said?
Yes.
What is that? What is that? I don't know what it is, but that's what it is.
So forensic geology, it's what it might sound like. It's geology, so studying like stones and sediment and how dirt is made up of different components, and using it as a way to solve crime, to connect. Usually it's to connect a criminal to a crime scene. first used, I believe, in France, definitely in Europe, in the 1800s, to connect a man who had killed a young woman, and they found like a certain type of very distinct dirt, mud on her, and then they were able to match that dirt and mud on him, and even though he wasn't even on the scene at the time, and that was a way to take the circumstantial evidence and really connect these two people. And so Austin was the first one to do that in the United States, and it's a very, very viable, very often used technique now.
Okay, so let's go back to the bugs on the body. I guess they look at that in order to determine like time of death,
Correct.
things like that. Because
How long a body has been there.
exactly. And the reason why I'm asking that is because I live here in Knoxville, Tennessee, and the body farm is here.
Yes, we have one too. We're the largest. In Texas, we have the largest in the world body farm.
What part of Texas?
In Austin, well, it's actually in San Marcos. Actually, the body farm shows up in season 2 of my podcast. I go to the body farm and they give me a tour and all that. I've been there a couple times actually.
I don't know if I could. I mean, did you actually get to see the bodies or?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, if you look on my social media around February, I think January or February, if you see photos from the body farm, I mean, I kept it pretty PG, but you can see the director, Daniel Westcott, who's standing not far from the skeleton. And in the podcast, you can hear me saying, you have to get used to the smell. It's a very strong smell. And I went over there over the summer, and, the body farm has bodies lying everywhere outside. Some are caged, some aren't. And if you are not caged, then you were okay with having animals come and drag you or do whatever the animals would do. I mean, that's what they're doing. They're studying the way that animals, one of the things they do is they're studying the way animals respond to human bodies and how they decompose.
Yeah, that is amazing. It's able to have a tour of the body farm there. I didn't even know you guys had one, but I know there's several around the country. So let me just ask you a quick question about that. Are they getting their body? Are they like donating? Are people donating their bodies to science? Is that how
They're all donated. Yeah. The exception is that I think that our body farm in Texas is, and actually, they say body farm, but what they prefer is forensic anthropology. So the forensic anthropological sites that we have across the country. I think that they have a program where they collect the bodies of people who were found, migrants who were found, trying to cross the border from Mexico to desert. And what they're trying to do is not put the bodies in the body farm, but they're trying to match the people, those identifications, to families in Mexico to be able to return the remains.
Really? Okay. All right. Let's. Thank you for saying. I wanted to catch your podcast talking about the body. Now, the use of fingerprints and things like that. Tell me about what part of that technique did he, start or use or whatever? Because I'm just wondering, did he come up with the powder, that they used to? I mean, where did he come?
I think at this time you have, how you were trained, and depending on how I was trained.
And they can usually get to you pretty quick. Call Any Hour Services or stay online at anyhourservices.com. Whether you need maintenance, repair, or a second opinion about replacing it, technicians at Any Hour Services can help you keep your home comfortable all winter long. Call Any Hour Services or schedule online at anyhourservices.com. No one helps more homeowners than Any Hour Services.
When you've got a lot on your plate, your financial future is the last thing on your mind. You've got groceries to buy, gas tanks to fill, and your kid just got invited to another birthday party. How are you supposed to find the time or the money to invest? Let Acorns help. Acorns makes it easy to invest for you, your kids, and your retirement all in one app. Answer a few questions, and Acorns will recommend an expert-built portfolio that matches your money goals. Then, Acorns automatically invests your money for you every day, week, or month, whatever works for you. You can even start investing with your own spare for change. Acorns is an easy way to invest for your future while you take care of today. Ready to give your money a chance to grow? Download Acorns now and sign up in just 5 minutes. Investing involves risk, including the loss of principal. Please consider your objectives, risk tolerance, and Acorns fees before investing. Acorns Advisors LLC is an SEC registered investment advisor. Brokerage services are provided to clients of Acorns by Acorns Securities LLC. Member FINRA SIPC. For more information, visit acorns.com.
Want to get ahead in life? At Weber State University, we offer affordable programs designed to help you move up in your career. Whether you're starting fresh or advancing your current skills, our degrees are tailored to get you where you want to go. With a focus on real-world experience and career readiness, we're here to support your journey every step of the way. It's time to invest in yourself and your future. Apply now at weber.edu. Weber State, where education meets opportunity and your success begins.
Hey party animals! Zoo Lights is back at Hogle Zoo for its 18th year of holiday magic. While the animals snooze, the zoo transforms into a sparkling wonderland of brilliant light displays. Stroll through the dazzling animal and holiday scenes, sip hot cocoa, and enjoy gooey s'mores at the bistro. Snap a festive photo and visit Santa. He'll be at Zoo Lights until December 23rd. Zoo Lights is presented by Mountain America Credit Union. For more info, visit hoglezoo.org. That's Zoo Lights at Hogle Zoo.
Hi there. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of your journey today. I'm your host, K-Town, and you're listening to Mysterious Radio. The subconscious is the root of your true power and desire. It's your inner child, your authentic self. It is the honest compass that will lead you to a life of happiness, so long as you're able to follow its direction. My special guest, Kimberly Freemutter, says we all have the power to access it. But as we grow up, we're taught to stop daydreaming and to follow society's rules, which makes us disconnect from our subconscious, often with tragic results. In Kimberly's book, Subconscious Power, Kimberly guides you through 6 principles that bring your conscious mind in line with your subconscious desires. She shares practical 3-minute exercises that will help you transform your relationships, find true love, lose weight after years of struggling with the scale, overcome addictions, and achieve new career successes and heights. And you can get her book, Subconscious Power, Use Your Inner Mind to Create the Life You've Always Wanted, on Amazon, in Kindle, audiobook, hardcover, and also paperback. And now, here's my special guest, Kimberly Freemutter.
Well, clearly I had a career in Hollywood before this. I'm from Texas, and San Antonio in particular, and I had just a normal, kind of country life growing up, and it was lovely. And then it was a little bit interrupted because my mother became ill. So she needed to get us out and working. So she contacted Lord Snowden, of all people, who only because of The Crown do I know now was married to Queen Elizabeth's sister, Princess Margaret. So he was a photographer, a fashion photographer. So anyway, long story short, my mother reaches out to him and says, I have this 14-year-old daughter, and I need to do something with her because I'm very, very ill, and my prognosis is 2 years, and so on and so forth. So anyway, he set her up with the right people, but then set me up with the right people in New York, and then I went to work in Europe and all that. So I got out of the nest young, needless to say. And thankfully, I was equipped because I did independent study and that kind of thing. So, I was able to do that. I remember living on an artichoke or a box of macaroni. I took my choice, the alternated days. Sometimes a tree of broccoli, but I would do that per day as my food because I was on a per diem kind of basis. I wanted to earn as much money and save as much money as I could. So not a poor me story, but just a good for me story. The fact that that's where I started. And I still try to live on one broccoli a day because now I'm dieting. So there you have it.
Okay, there you go. And I love broccoli, so that's a great choice.
Yeah,
actually.
don't change.
Yeah, but you didn't tell us what it is you were doing at such a young age. What did you get to do?
Yes, I was modeling. I'm so
gotcha.
sorry.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay. Oh, maybe I missed that. My fault.
Yeah, no, I probably just assumed. But anyway, yeah, so I was modeling and I lived overseas and all that. And then, would periodically come home to Texas between the collections and whatever. But then I started doing some television and film things in Los Angeles, segued over to then radio in Los Angeles on KLSX 97.1 FM, which was the Howard Stern station. And that was when Howard was doing terrestrial radio. So it was there that I started to really get into contact with others as far as, not traditional psychotherapy because I was not a psychologist, but kind of talk, relationship, consulting kind of stuff. And then that led to learning about hypnosis because I was had stage fright. I was like not afraid, but wasn't enjoying my time on the radio when it first started. I was nervous and anxious and all the things that go along with that, nervous tummy and, all that. So I went to a hypnotherapist to work on it, and it literally took one session, and I was so excited by the way it worked and so focused on part of the subject, which was me. And I decided then to tweak everything about myself that I didn't like. I thought, well, if it works great for this, let it, work on all the other parts of me that need tweaking. And so I sure did. And then upon that, realization of how wonderful it was, I decided just to get into it as a practice.
Very good. Okay, that's interesting. That really is. I've never had hypnosis or anything like that. So is it the only thing you actually went for was the stage fright, or did you use it anytime?
Oh, a whole host of things after. I still use it. In fact, last night, well, like last night is a perfect example. I woke up at 2:33 this morning, and I was trying to see the numbers exactly to see exactly how long I had to sleep. And when I saw it was 2:33, I thought, oh, I know what to do. So I closed my eyes and I focused on the point in front of me. Now you can do this, you imagine that point in front of you when your eyes are closed. When you imagine that point, then you slowly allow your eyesight to diffuse so that you're still looking at that point, in this case, imagining that point. And then you're allowing your eyesight to diffuse to either side, which is engaging your peripheral vision. Yes, you can engage your peripheral vision with your eyes closed. So if you anyone listening who's interested, just close your eyes. You can actually do it with your eyes open if you want. It's just when you're trying to go back to sleep, it's better to have your eyes closed. So imagine that spot, and then let your eyesight gaze off, like just to diffuse to the sides. Whereas if your eyes were open, you'd be able to see your fingers moving on either side of you if you waved your hands. You know what peripheral vision is. And so that alone takes away any negative emotions, any worry, any thoughts. Sometimes you wake up in a sleepless night and you just have all these rambling thoughts. What do I have to do? Or, whatever. Stresses. And so this peripheral vision at night while you're trying to sleep puts you back to sleep. So to answer your question, yes, I use hypnosis all day long because it's a natural state. The state of trance is natural for us. It's like our natural screensaver. So imagine that your computer can't run 24/7, and so it goes into screensaver mode. That's this, which feels to a layman like daydreaming. It feels like driving a car and you don't consciously remember how you got from point A to point B. That's all trance, and trance is completely organic, natural, sustainable, private if you choose to keep it so. Nobody needs to know you're even in it. It's fabulous.
So so the first time you used it, obviously, not necessarily, you used it with someone actually helped you with the hypnosis, right? But now you're doing it to yourself, is that my understanding?
Correct. And actually what happened was after I sought out the hypnotist to help me with all my issues, then I started seeking out other hypnotists. So for example, Brian Weiss, Dr. Brian Weiss, who's very famous in the field for past life regressions. He wrote the book called Many Lives, Many Masters. So I sought him out. I sought Shelley Nicholas. She is in California, and I have her work on my husband because I think it's just better for someone else to.
I'm freshly wild. How are you? Waiting to
So
go in.
Simon & Schuster published this book of mine called Subconscious Power, Use Your Inner Mind to Create the Life You've Always Wanted. And they did that so that people could hypnotize themselves.
Yeah, I've had some days off.
Because obviously I can't be everywhere every time. So this is perfect because the book
Working tonight, double time. I'm glad you're glad. Yeah, just until 9:20.
Survival, but people aren't purposely using it. You know who's using it? Is advertisers using it.
Exactly. Oh my God. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly right.
Your subconscious is getting used. It's just the difference is that do you want to use it or do you want to allow everybody else to use it and you still don't use it, right? There's nothing wrong with people using it. I mean, it's like great. Obviously, warm colors make us want to eat food. So, with all the fast food establishments and yellows and oranges and reds and things, right? It's like lions and tigers and bears. But here's the reality: if you know that, and you now really want to watch your eating, maybe you paint your kitchen a lighter tone or something that's in a cooler colors that doesn't really incite eating as much. There's all those kinds of mental hacks, I call them, just because they're so quick and easy that you can really deploy for your own use.
I'm glad you said that. Okay, the book is called Use Your Inner Mind to Create the Life You've Always Wanted. And this book is it on Kindle? I'm sorry. Yeah, Kindle and audiobook.
Yeah, it's on everything. It's actually called Subconscious Power is the main title, and then they Use Your Inner Mind to Create the Life You've Always Wanted.
Got you. Okay, it's a little tricky as you read it,
Well, because they did that. They put the subliminal. It's like, do you remember on Saturday Night Live they had the character Subliminal Man? I think it was John Lovitz, wasn't it? And the gal would be like, she'd say, what how'd it go? Like it was Victoria Jackson, and she'd say something like, or he would say like, take off your bra, and then so he'd be trying to get her to do things. It doesn't really work like that, just so you know. I mean, for some reason, and I know one of your questions is probably going to be, between stage show hypnosis, but one of the things that people always say when I say I'm a hypnotist is they say, oh my gosh, can you make me go out and rob a bank?
Stop fighting.
I don't know why everybody wants to go out and rob a bank.
Everybody should get along.
It's weird. And so I go, no, actually, I can't make you do anything that you wouldn't normally want to do. Because when people come for clinical hypnosis, which is what I practice, they're coming for.
I don't know if you can hear me.
Or,
I have a very low voice.
Or whatever, in which case I, look to see.
And my daughter has my headphones with my mic.
Oh, thank you. So what they did is
Okay.
our department here is they created a
Oh, so has mommy.
is written in black for the entire
My job's been held too. We're the only ones here. At least the area I work in. We come in. But it's double time. I guess. I'm tired of working.
Well, no, I never discussed that. I can tell you, certain things that I worked on with people. I just can't say people.
For me, it's both. Especially when you go home, you gotta do things. And then you got lack of sleep. So it is.
And here's the other thing about it is that many clients will come out and speak about it themselves, in which case then I'm free to. So for example, Lala Kent, if anyone watches Family Rules.
It's just been hard.
I mean, is she
I've been trying to find a place. Living at my brother's couch.
The thing is that she was very
I think we're all tired of it. I know everyone I live with is. Oh no. We're all tired of being a slave to the system. I know I am.
Really feel better
I'm tired of being slave to the system. Why can't we just help each other out?
Hey party animals, Zoo Lights is back at Hogle Zoo for its 18th year of holiday magic. While the
Yeah,
animals
trying to
snooze,
get my
the zoo
son.
transforms into a sparkling wonderland of brilliant light displays.
I'm trying to get my
Stroll
son
through
and
the
his
dazzling
wife
family
to
seats,
get
sip hot
a
cocoa,
house
and
together.
enjoy gourmet s'mores at the bistro. Snap a festive photo and visit Santa. He'll be at Zoo Lights until December 23rd. Zoo Lights is presented by Mountain
This is
America
where I
Credit
was
Union.
staying.
For more info, visit
They only gave us 30
hoglezoo.org.
days
That's
to
Zoo
get
Lights at
out.
Hogle Zoo.
That's not enough time to
Got
find a
something on your
place.
mind you need to talk about? Forget texting. Just call up a friend so you can hear a voice. It might be old school, but
That's
it
why I'm
helps.
working a
This
lot,
healthy
I
suggestion is
guess.
brought to you by Regents Blue Cross Blue Shield of Utah. Together we
Yeah,
help.
he's
Hey,
25,
party
turning
animals, Zoo Lights is
26
back
in
at Hogle
January.
Zoo for its 18th year of holiday magic. While the animals
Yeah.
snooze, the zoo transforms into a sparkling wonderland of brilliant
My
light
son's
displays. Stroll through the dazzling
gonna be
animal and
turning
gourmet scenes, sip
26,
hot cocoa, and enjoy
and
gourmet
my
s'mores at the
daughter
bistro.
is gonna
Snap a
be
festive
turning
photo and
18.
visit Santa. He'll be at Zoo Lights until December 23rd.
Now I'm
Zoo Lights is
42.
presented by Mountain America Credit Union. For more info, visit
Everyone
hoglezoo.org.
thinks
That's Zoo Lights at Hogle
that
Zoo.
I'm my son's sister.
Got a lot on your plate. Your
It's pretty
financial
funny.
future is the last thing on your mind. That's why Acorns makes it easy to invest for you. As a kid,
I'm not
saving
ashamed of my
retirement.
age.
Recommend an expert.
Oh, thank you. I try to take care of myself. Yeah, half Puerto Rican, half Mexican. Yeah.
Okay, so let's start here because I want to
Yeah.
ask you, how do you recommend
The reason I named my
people get to a place
channel
where they
Boricua
believe
from Utah is
it's
because
possible to
my
using
dad was the
their subconscious
Boricua,
mind, all that, most people are bombarded with so much negativity.
and he's
Yeah, so what happens, and thanks for
gone.
asking, is we turn
He's
up our
been
conscious
gone
mind. So
since
just, I guess, explaining the two. So consciousness is the part
2019.
of us that's awake and that's aware.
Yeah, it sure is. It's all that avocado.
So,
Yeah, last time I was there, I went to kindergarten.
What you're not so consciously
I
aware
think I
of
was
is
like
that layer
5
right
when
below the surface
we
of
came here
conscious,
to
which is
Utah.
called the sub layer, sub below. So
My grandma
conscious,
still
and that
lives there,
subconscious does
and
all the heavy
my
lifting
uncles and
for us. It's
aunts.
the real unsung hero
I
of
have
our
some
lives.
uncles and aunts
And what I
over
mean by
here.
that is, it's your
My
dreams
grandpa
when you sleep, it's your emotions, it's your negative and your positive emotions.
is
when you
gone.
lay
My
awake,
dad's
that's your subconscious.
gone.
When you get depressed, that's your subconscious.
Yeah.
It also instigates symbolism. So when
Yeah, I
we
wanna
see peace
go there.
sign, the reason we feel peace is because we
I'd
know
like
what
to
that means.
have
and
my
it's
kids go there with me.
kind of a symbol to our subconscious. Our
Yeah.
subconscious also takes things very personally. It's like
We
your
went.
inner
We were
little
in
8-year-old.
San
If
Juan,
you remember when you were
because my
in and around
family
8
is
years
from
old,
San
how you
Juan.
were dialed. It's like you knew
And then
what was what, and you
my
called
family on
things
my
what they
mom's
were.
side
So,
is
like if your parents said,
from Mexico
tried to teach
City.
you something like, oh, you're gonna go to bed early tonight or whatever, you'd be like, nah, gonna call them on everything.
You know how it
because
is.
that's your truth-telling age. The reason is because it's just before.
I just do this for fun. Get to know people. Yeah, last time I went there, I was 15. I went to Guadalajara. I was a troubled teen. Yeah, my mom was raised rich. Her parents were rich. Because she's from the city. My mom's from the city of Mexico, and my dad is from San Juan in Puerto Rico. Some mix. But the Boricua part is from my dad. Yeah, both sides. It's kind of nice being half. I learned about both sides, and both sides are pretty different. Some words are pretty different. Yeah, my mom was quite the artist. I don't know if she can still draw, but she still likes coloring. She looks young for her age, too. Yeah, it sure is. Guadalajara's nice. It's where all my other aunts and uncles live. I want to go visit there, but I would not go live there. I've been close to there when I used to drive a 18-wheeler. Yeah, I used to be a truck driver. I miss that. Yeah. I heard my dad, when he was a truck driver, and he went to New York because no other truckers wanted to go there, he got jumped by 3 guys, and they took his wallet. It's crazy. I heard stories from my dad. Yeah. Yeah, gotta watch out. I'm always looking on every mirror all the time, because that's what I was taught. Yeah, my dad was a trucker. He's not here anymore. I used to drive a truck. My uncle drove a truck. One of my brothers drove a truck. Being a trucker is a whole different world. Especially being a female. Yeah, he's in a better place. His body's gone, but he's wherever his journey takes him. Hell yeah, I do. He's the one that taught me how to work on a car. He's the one that taught me how to make Puerto Rican food. Everything I learned was from him. My mom didn't know how to cook or do anything. He taught her all that. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, my dad was proud of it. He is the reason why I like to put all my Puerto Rican flags in my car. Oh yeah. Yeah, and he was too proud to accept the help from any of his 5 kids. And he just missed a dialysis appointment, and we had to drive all the way down to Washington State. Yeah. We would take care of him, but he didn't want to. He's stubborn. You know how Puerto Ricans are, stubborn. We're too proud for the help. Yeah. So it's really nice to chat with somebody. Yeah. It's just that was his time, I guess. Better than where we at right now. I know he got really sad when he couldn't drive a truck. do? Oh. I don't know, because he really didn't communicate about all that with me or my brothers. Yeah, I can't donate. Yeah, he was getting a donor. I mean, I know last time I talked to him before he left after Father's Day. Yeah, I mean, I had to call him every day and make sure he wasn't drinking and smoking a lot. You know how dads are. They are stubborn. And he had diabetes, so it's pretty crazy. Yeah, it happens. Oh, shouldn't drink. It's not good. I don't drink. I used to when I was younger, but I stay away from that. I see how my cousins are with it. I don't want to go there. Yeah, you just need to put your mind to it. That's what I tell my old man. Or some people have all of that. I know I'm married to one, but he doesn't drink. Yeah, all you can do is work on helping them, but you can't help them unless they want to help themselves first. All I can do is what I can do when you love your loved ones. You know it is. You should move into a country that's peaceful. See, I like it up here in Brigham City. I don't like it down there in Clearfield where my brother lives. Too many people. I like it where there's barely anything. You're welcome. But, you know, you need to go to the country, de-stress yourself, walk trails, a lot of cows, see deer, the sunrises and the sunsets are beautiful, and a lot of mountain to hike. That's why I don't want to move out of here. Oh yeah, and a dog would love the walks and the hikes and the trails. I grew up with dogs, but now I have cats. What's your dog's name? Oh, those are the cutest. I had a Pekingese, and then he got hit by a pickup truck. And that's why I don't let the cats out. I don't want them to get ran over. Well, I really enjoyed chatting with somebody. Oh yeah, it was hard. It was when my son was like 4 years old. This was a long time ago. But it's time for me to go into work. I will be on in the morning when I get off work. Well, I don't like to say morning, but sunrise. Oh, why, how? Thanks. It was nice talking to you. Hopefully I'll see you in another live. And I hope you have a good night. Be strong. And blessings. Alright. Sounds good. And I always watch your little things you put out. So, I always watch your wrestling videos. Thank you. And have a great day. Or is it night? It's night, isn't it? Get my work stuff. Alright, I'll see you later. Oh, you're welcome. So, you know it's me always liking your videos. You have a good one. Igualmente. Hasta luego. Bye.